Hello, welcome to part 2 of Digit Challenge. So in part 1 we introduced what is a digit challenge problem, and I just told you very basic tricks, as in like how to use the options, go for the smaller number, go for the options which is having the let's say the option which is common in most of the option, okay, the numbers which is common in most of the options. So with this we move further and we take it to the second part of the video, which is going to be dealing with slightly more difficult questions. So here you'll get an idea like how the difficulty level can go up. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so though we start with a very simple one, this seems to be quite simple question. But let's stick to the basic ideas, what we were discussing in part one as well. I'll just start focusing in this equation. I'll be focused on this multiplication for the first. Like the first step, I'll be focused on this. Okay, so multiplication would mean I'm trying to fill the second blank. So if I look at the options, what are the possible for my second blank? Like 7, 5 and 4. Since 5 is coming in two options, I'll consider putting a 5 over here. So that will make it a 4 into 5 or 20 plus 2 is 22. So I will be requiring a 7 over here. So once this is done, out of these two, it worked. And out of these two, this is going to be my right answer. So once again, things are very simple. You need to, what is a digit challenge? You need to plug in the right numbers, digits, and in the way when you're using the software and you're doing calculations, or let's say you plugged in a wrong digit, you can always use this delete button over there to remove that number and plug in a new number. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. I believe the second is going to be slightly difficult. Okay, here let's have a look at this. Something is getting multiplied with 3, that's fine. Now I will be focused more over, you can see there is a negative sign over here, and this negative number is getting multiplied with 2. So my first, let's say primary step, or let's say my primary focus is now on this number. Okay, which is going to be the second number. So what all second number options I have? 4, 4, 5 and a 4. So I have two options. Either I'm going to choose a 4 or I'm going to choose a 5. I will go for the smaller one. I'll put a 4 over here. Okay, so that's going to be a 8. Now with this 8 over here, if I look for, let's say, what all options I have for this first number, it is going to be a 6. Let's be focused on putting the second as 4. So then I'm dealing with these two options at the moment. And with these two options, I have an option of like either putting a 6 or a 5 for the first place. Let's say I'll go with this A option. If I happen to put a 6 over here, so that's going to make it a 18 minus a 10. 18 minus, okay, not 10, 18 minus 8, which is a 10. Something more is added, so it did not work. Okay, so clear, as simple as that, it did not work. Now what do I realize at this point of time as well? That I would be it did not work, as in like something more, you're getting something more on the left hand side. So I will be preferring now for this negative number a larger, a more bigger number. So instead of these two options, I'm looking for this option now, 5. So I'm going to use the eraser. You could have used the delete button on the software. And now I'm going to be plugging in 5, not 4. So if I plug in a 5 over here, so that's a 10. Plugging a 5 means that I'm looking forward for these two options at the moment. And then I will go with the, okay, let's go with the smaller number over here. 4 over here. So 4 over here would make it a 12 and a minus 10. 12 and a minus 10 would mean a 2, and you require more 6 to make it a 8. So this is going to be the right option then. Is it okay? Let me try to put the things back into perspective. I started with the smaller number over here, went for this kind of an option over there. What was my realization? I realized that numbers on the left hand side is more. So I went in, and because something is getting subtracted, so I went in then with the bigger number. And with this bigger number, I went in for a smaller number for my option 1, first blank. Okay, so it worked like this. Again, I must point it out, all this is going to be done by you in a matter of 30 to 35 seconds. That's where the catch is. Okay, okay, let's go for the next question. I believe things are getting now slightly difficult. Slightly difficult, not in terms of concept, slightly difficult, not in terms of, let's say, what we are doing, but getting difficult in terms of the perspective that you have to do it in 35 or 30 seconds. Okay, let's look at this. This is something, this is a -2 getting multiplied with something. Towards the end, it is a 7. And again, a negative over here, and something is getting multiplied with 3. So I'll be focusing, okay, something is getting two subtractions, okay, this and this. So I'll prefer something, a bigger number for my first option. I have options like 4, 1, 3, 4. I'll prefer these two. I'll go with this 2 for, I'll try. For this, I put a 4, so that's going to be a 12. Now 12 minus something and 2 minus something, okay. 2 minus something, I have two options. Either I choose a 1 or I choose a 3. If I choose a 12 minus 3, 2 into 3, so that's going to be 6, which is going to be left hand side is going to become smaller than right hand side, which is 7. So certainly I'm not going to go with this option. I'm going to try this option. This option over here, if I plug in, so that would make 12 minus something and a -2, and which is coming out to be 7. So if I do a 3 more, subtract 3 more, it is going to be like left hand side is going to become right hand side. So this is going to be my right answer. So again, a very simple thing I did. I just initially figured out that, okay, something, two things are getting subtracted from this first multiplication. So I preferred bigger number. Bigger number was out of, for the first option, 4, 1 and 3. 4 was it. I was left to two choices over here, these first and second choice. And then I preferred for 2 multiplied with the smaller, because if I was going in for multiplying with the bigger, so left hand side was becoming lesser than the right hand side. Okay, I believe you're getting used to it. Now, one thing again I'm pointing out to you, just don't keep watching the video. Pause the video, look at the question, try to solve it in 30 seconds, and then look for the explanation. Okay? Okay, let's look for the next one. So what is it over here? Now this is for the first time, it is like 4 blanks are there. 4 blanks. Okay, this is going to be something. There are 4 blanks. Okay, I start off with, if I will start off with the division. So I have 4 by something, and I know it is going to be only integers. So I have options like 4, 4, 1 and a 4. Okay. Okay, effectively it is going to be like this. Do I have something in negative? Yes, I have a negative over here, which is a -6. So first thing I'll do is I'll pick this over here and put it over here. So that's going to make it a 20. Fine. So now I have, this is going to be multiplied, this is going to be added, and this is again going to be added, and again it is going to be 20. Okay. So I'll just try with this option, because this is a simple one. 4 by 4, if I just put it up 4 by 4, this is going to be 1. So this is going to result into 1. And then I do a quick multiplication of these two. So this is going to be 6, and then the first number is 9. So if I go with this, I'm getting what? I'm getting a 16. It did not work. Okay, it did not work. But what do I realize? Okay, that because there is you can see there is a 3 into 2 all the time over here, 3 into 2, 3 into 2 all the time, and the only one here is a 8. Okay. Okay, but when I happen to look at this option at the moment, so what do I realize? What do I realize? Let me show you over here. When I quickly looked at this option, this first one did not work. When I happen to look at the, you can see that this option, because I was first of all I was now looking forward for putting a 1 in the option, getting more over here when with the division thing. Okay, 4 by, so I went in for 4 by 1. So if I try this 4 by 1, this is only this option. Let me try it up 4. And when I got quickly did this multiplication, this is a 2 into 4, which is going to be 8. And you add a 8, you'll get a 20. Okay, so this is working. So I must tell you once again. First, I went in for 4 by 4. I was thinking I'll go with making this 4 by 4, which is going to give me 1. I was going in for a smaller number as an output of 4 by 4. But it did not work. And then what I realized is that the other option, the only other option which was like having a 1, which is going to give me like 4 by 1, which is going to be 4, which is going to be more. When I quickly did it and used these two digits over here, the multiplication, so it straight away went in for a 20. Okay, so this is going to be my right answer. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This is okay, not lots of thing over here. This is particularly I'm going to be worried about this because minus 8 is getting multiplied with something and two digits are added and 9. Okay, and you get a 1. You get a 1 after even adding a 9, so that meant okay, something more negative was there because even after adding a 9 you're getting a 1. Something more negative is over here. So this is going to be minus 8 into something bigger, I guess. Bigger would mean the third blank, 2, 5, 1, 2. So I'll start off with 5 is but too far off because 8 into 5 is going to be 40, which is going to be like really big number in terms of like you add two digits and you're going to get 1. So no, I would not go in for 5. But out of 2 and 1, I'll prefer 2. So I'll prefer 2. So that means I'm going in for these two options. So that would mean a minus 16 over here. And a 9, that would mean a minus 7. Minus 7 and straight away when you just speak like minus 7, so this is not going to add up. This is the one which is going to add up, as in if you add a 5 and a 3, and this would make effectively a 8, and a minus 16 would make it a minus 8, and a plus 9 would make it a 1. So this works. So this is going to be my right option. Quick recall what we did. I did not went in to go for 8 into 5 because numbers you adding them and then it is going to be becoming 1, so it is not going to work with like a minus 40. So I had an option of 2 and 1. I preferred 2 and then left to two choices. It was like pretty straightforward. Then adding, I'm going to get my answer as T. So with this example, we are ending part 2. I believe you would have realized that the questions are getting difficult. And I would repeat, whenever you are trying to attempt a question, please pause the video, solve it on your own, try to do it in 30 seconds or 35 seconds, and then try to look at the solution provided by the video. Okay, so we'll continue with the part 3, which is going to be even slightly more difficult, okay, and more challenging for the digit challenge. Okay, please watch the third part as well. Okay, thank you.